Hi guys, Brenda Hillard here, createwithbrenda.com, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I'm here today with a really quick, easy, but stunning project. I hope you like it as much as I do. And last month at Create with Brenda, I offered a free embossing class, and so I'm bringing forward the embossing again on this project. So let me tell you what you need for this project. I am going to be using here's the products. Well, let's start out with the beautiful Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper that coordinates with Blackberry Bliss, Cinnamon Cider, Polished Pink, Early Espresso, and Rich Raspberry. This paper is stunning, and I think you can see it, but lots of gold foil on the one side and then matte prints on the other side. So this is 12 by 12 Designer Series paper, double-sided 12 sheets. You won't want to miss out on this one. And the stamp set I'm going to be using is Pretty Pumpkins, and I'm using the bundle. And of course, a bundle means it's either a stamp set dies, stamp set punch, or it could be even a stamp set and an embossing folder. But whenever something is bundled in our catalogs, it means that you get 10% off. So check out the bundles. But today I'm using the Pretty Pumpkins bundle. And this was probably one of my first picks. When I looked through the new mini, the July through December mini catalog, it was like, oh yeah, I for sure have to have this. And then the other thing I'm going to be using is my Stitched Leaves dies. These are gorgeous, standalone, but there is a stamp set that coordinates with them. And then I'm also going to be using I can't get it out of here, the Be Dazzling 6x6 card pack that can be found in our Sale-a-Bration brochure. So with a $50 purchase, the Be Dazzling paper, and this is a really heavy paper. One thing I want to warn you about is you do not want to use intricate dies with this paper. It will dull your cutting blades. So when I say intricate, I'm talking about like these filigree dies with lots of detail. Now, if you wanted to use, say, this one, or I'm going to be using this one today, and I'll show you how nicely these cut out. Okay? So those are the products. Let's talk about the papers that you're going to be needing. And those include, I'm using Very Vanilla today. So I have a standard envelope. I have a scrap piece of the Be Dazzling. Isn't it pretty? I have two pieces, 1/2 inch by 6-inch pieces of the Blackberry Beauty Designer Series paper. I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss. This is going to be our card base that measures 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Very Vanilla, 3 3/4 by 5-inch, and then also a scrap of the Cinnamon Cider cardstock. All right, so let me show you how I put this together, and I want you to see truly how quick and easy this project is. I'm going to fold my card base on the 4 1/4-inch score line, matching up my edges here, and I'm just going to give it a good crease with my bone folder. That's how we always start out, right? So there's that. If you hear something running in the back, it's my embossing, my heat tool for embossing. And I'm going to show you in just a minute what we're going to do with that. So there's our card base, all right? Now, I set up the Stamparatus because I was doing lots of these for a card swap. It was a big card swap this month with a group of demonstrators that I share with every month. So I'm just going to put my magnets down to hold it in place. I've got my stamp positioned on the acrylic board where I want it on my cardstock. The one thing I am going to do is I'm just going to rub over this with my embossing buddy. And yes, it leaves that white powdery residue, but that's okay. It'll brush off, it'll wipe off. And then I'm going to stamp or ink up. Let me move this in the camera so you can see it. So I've got my stamp over here on my acrylic board, right? I'm going to ink it up using Versamark. And I'm just going to stamp that right down here on the bottom right corner of my card front. So let's take this off from here. And I'm just going to bring in, you guys, I keep my embossing powder in like these Glad containers. And so I'm just going to spoon some on here and tap it to get the excess off from there. Now let me bring in my heat tool and I'm going to show you how this heats up. It's so fun. And like I've said in previous videos, I remember the first time I saw this done, it was just such a wow. It was like, oh my gosh, I have to try that. So I'm going to turn up my heat gun here. And all of a sudden, do you see the magic happening where it melts the powder and leaves this beautiful gold sentiment on my card? All right, now we can shut the noise off. All right, so then to get this little white powder off from here, I'm just going to take a tissue. And to be honest, when I was doing my swaps, I used the corner of my t-shirt, but I'm not going to do that on my video. So there it is. It's gone. And how pretty is that, right? Love, love, love it. All right, let's go back out a little bit. And then for the next step, we had these two scrap pieces here of one of the Be Dazzling and one of the cinnamon cider. So I'm going to bring in my mini and we'll set it up with her base plate 1. I'm going to put the cutting plate 2. I'm going to put the Be Dazzling paper here with my pumpkin, stagger my plate, and roll it through. The cracking noise you hear is normal. When you first start using a die cutting machine, it's a little bit scary. It's like, oh gosh, did I break it? But no, you did not. So then these little, I don't know what you want to call them. I'm going to call them fins for lack of a better word. You just take those out and there's our beautiful dazzling pumpkin. And I'm going to do the same thing with my piece of cinnamon cider. I'm going to lay my leaf down here. And you guys, this is two-fold here. Let me show you how this works. So there's this little centerpiece that I'm just going to lay there in the center of my leaf. And then again, I'm going to stagger my plates, rank it through, and show you what we have here. These dies are so cool. Hope they stay around forever and ever and ever because I really do just love them. And wait till you see how it punches out. Oh, I don't want to ruin this piece because you can actually use this to see how it's stitched around the outside of the die. And so then you have this piece. But now look what happens when I lift this one off. It imprints the leaf with the stitched veins on the leaf. Isn't it gorgeous? I love these. All right. I think I've said that already. So let's get going here. We've got our die cut pieces now, and I'm going to bring in our 2 pieces of designer series paper that measure 1/2 inch by 6, okay? And I just want to get my paper snips out here, and I'm going to lay this down. And as what I'm doing, you'll see here, I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. I want this to be beside my sentiment, and then I want it to be up towards the top, and I'm just going to cut it at an angle. Save these pieces because I have a fun little thing to do with those. Okay, so then I'm going to lay this across, and again, I'm just eyeballing, but I want to cut this at an angle and keep that piece too. All right, so now we're ready to glue these down, and I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid glue. Again, it gives me just a moment to position it so it's nice and straight and right where I want it. Once you have it where you want it, you can just press it down. Then I'm going to take that second piece that we cut the angle from. I'm just going to lay that right across here. So it's just going to frame our embossed sentiment, okay? All right, so next I'm going to cut the stem off from our leaf and add some little bit of liquid glue. You don't want to do a lot because the stitched veining on the leaves will allow the glue to bleed through, and we don't want that. And my next step is then I want a dimensional that I'm going to put right here on the center part of my pumpkin, and I'm going to take the backing off. So then I'm going to set my pumpkin right here on this strip, and then I can just kind of arrange my leaf where I want it. What do you think so far? This card does go together really quick, and it's very easy, but yet I feel like it's really stunning. So I'm going to take our piece of 3 3/4 by 5 of the Very Vanilla, because this is the insert for our card. And remember these pieces I told you to save? So I'm going to take the longer of the 2, and I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive to the back. And I'm just going to put this right here at the bottom right corner of our insert. And I just want to scoot it right up to the edge. And see, by using the glue, that allows me to scoot it right over to the edge where I needed it. And with our Stampin' Seal, I'm just going to give a little bit of adhesive right at the top. And I'm going to insert this right on the inside of our card. Just center it up so we have this pretty little banner on the outside. And of course we have to have a bow, right? But again, if you don't like tying bows, you can always tie a knot, or that pumpkin is so sparkly, you can just skip that whole step if you want to. I'm going to use one of our glue dots. I'm just going to stick that right on this linen thread. I'm going to put that on our pumpkin. Coming together. And then I have these. These are a great value. There are little metallic pearls, and you get both the silver and the gold in one pack. So lots of Lots of sparkles. So this is great for like Christmas cards and whatnot because of the quantity. You can just keep going and keep going. All right, you guys, that's it. How quick and easy, right? And this Blackberry Bliss with this paper is just, it's the bomb. And then of course, our Be Dazzling pumpkin. All right, so there's my card. And remember what I always say, there's no naked envelopes. And we still have this one little piece, right? So I'm going to add some adhesive to this little strip. And I'm just going to put it here at the right side of our envelope. And give our envelope just a little dazzle too. So there's today's project. I hope you'll purchase. Remember, Sale-a-Bration goes until through September 30th. My September host code, whoa, I got all crazy, is right up here. And this month, when you place a $100 order with me, you will receive the Delivering Cheer stamp set, along with being able to select two $50 items out of the Sale-a-Bration brochure or one of the 100. So get shopping. I look forward to serving you. Have a great day.